I have learned the lessons of kindness, how to treat other human beings, common decency in how you treat them. Definitely a big lesson for me. And as far as how to treat animals, which I think that the two go hand in hand. And I learned that from my parents.
Beth was raised by parents who were committed to teaching their children about kindness to and respect for all living things, human and animal alike. She had an amazing childhood, filled with laughter and all manner of animals, except for cats. Having grown up with a virtual zoo of animals, she was always taught to appreciate and love all life. After a move to Cleveland, Ohio, she volunteered at a no-kill cat shelter that instantly won her heart. Years later, she became director of that same shelter and has been there ever since. This is Beth's story and her family's, one of laughter, kindness, and respect, and gratitude for everything she has experienced in life to date.
I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, 1966. I had a wonderful childhood. I have very few, if any, bad memories. My parents were very involved in our lives, very supportive, very loving. My father grew up in a home where they did not have that, and he always said that his family would never be like that. So I always saw my parents, hug, kiss, my dad walk by, slap on the bottom or something, just a very loving home. I was raised around animals. My mom and dad both like animals, but my mom likes animals. My dad loved animals. So I had hamsters, I had gerbils, I had dogs, I had ducks. I had rabbits. My dad tried to bid on a peacock at an auction we went to, but we did not win the peacock. He tried to bring home a pot-bellied pig. My mother said no. So he and I would have had every animal there was. But obviously we couldn't have all those. So yeah, I had all kinds of animals growing up. I would say watching my parents, how they treated our animals and just how they treated other people was a huge influence, because I never saw anything else. I never saw a negative side of helping people, or if they did experience anything like that, they didn't talk about it openly in front of us. Somebody in the neighborhood needed help with their yard, their car. My dad was there. My mom was always doing stuff for other people. So I just feel like, and my brother's that way too. So I feel like he and I were bound to be like that, because we just had never seen any other way. And my parents were both very caring of our animals. And so that also showed me how to treat animals, and how to feel about them. When my dad got sick, it was very difficult being so far away. And I couldn't just take off and go down to Florida and be with him. I still had to work. I had 2 kids. So it was difficult from the beginning. When we were able to visit him several times during his sickness, and during when we knew he was going to pass. We were able to be there. It was very, I was angry when he died. I felt like he was taken away before there was so much more that he could have done. And I was upset about the things he would miss with my kids. So I had a lot of anger at that point. And then when I was picking out a reading for his funeral mass, I came across one that hit me, and it was like a light went off, or light bulb turned on, that he is in a better place. He is, from my upbringing, he's in eternal glory, and that it isn't about me. It is about his life. And that completely changed everything for me. I also felt like my dad was the first person I ever watched pass away. And I wasn't sure how I would handle that. And as hard as it was, I found it very peaceful. I'm not sure if that's even the right word, but I found it very, I don't know, peaceful is about the only word I can come up with, but you'd think it would be unsettling, and it wasn't for me. And maybe it was because he had suffered and that was over. I don't know, but I found it very peaceful. As an Elvis fan, I don't remember ever not being an Elvis fan. My mom played his music all the time in the house. He was just, I don't know, he was always a part of my life. And my parents knew that, of course, and all I ever wanted for Christmas was Elvis tickets. That's all I ever wanted. But so they did. They made sure twice that I was able to see him, once in Bloomington, Indiana, and once in Indianapolis at his last concert. And I don't know. I mean, they were such a big part of my Elvis life. I would sit and watch Elvis on tour on the VCR. I would sit and watch that over and over, and my dad would lay on the couch and just watch it with me. And he wasn't into it like I was, but I think he enjoyed watching my reaction to Elvis. And he was such a big part of my life with Elvis. Both of them were. Yes. And I'm still equally as obsessed with Elvis as I was then.
We'll be back to the story in just a minute. I just wanted to say thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Give us a thumbs up and ring that notification bell. We can't do it without you. Thanks again. Back to the story.
I first started working with cats in my early 20s when I worked at the kennel, taking care of the cats and dogs when people boarded them when they went on vacation. I loved taking care of all those animals, and that was only 2 days a week. And then when I got married, I gave up that second job. So my husband the company was shutting the terminal where he worked for Sunoco. So they gave us two choices. You can, here's your severance pay, best of luck to you, or we have an opening in Cleveland. Neither one of us had college education. We had a son, and we were terrified of just taking our severance and hoping to find another job. So we came to Cleveland, and he got to go to work every day, and I was home with a 3-year-old watching Barney 50 times a day. So it kind of got to me, I needed to talk to other adults. So one day, it was a weekend and he was off, and I had looked in the North Royalton Recorder, the local newspaper, and I saw that this cat shelter was having a Easter basket fundraiser. So I was like, let's go, because I wanted to get out of the house on his days off and go do stuff. So we went to what was then Bidawee Cat Shelter. And when I walked in that place, I just knew it was going to be a part of my life forever. I didn't know how, but I knew it was going to be a part of my life. I started out by sponsoring a cat and signing up to be a volunteer, even though I didn't know how I was going to do that with a child, but I signed up. So when they called me to volunteer, I found a preschool daycare program to put my son in. I didn't want to do that when we first moved here because I was not familiar with anything. So I wasn't going to drop him off anywhere. So once we'd been here a while, I found Bidawee, put him in a preschool, and I started volunteering one day a week. I started as a volunteer in 1995, and then that turned into 2 days a week, and then that turned into, would you like to work here? And it just kind of snowballed until I was offered the director position in 2001. My husband and I talk about this quite a bit because we've always had cats before we even got married. In him and his apartment, we got a cat in anticipation of me moving in when we got married and all. And our kids grew up with cats, and I can't imagine a life without them. We talk about it now that the kids are gone, luckily we still like each other and enjoy being together, but the cats just add an element of hilarity. They give us a chance to be loving and affectionate. They enhance our lives so much, and I think that taking care of them and all is, I think that's just part of us. But how much laughter I think they provide, and all their antics. Even the older cats, when they do something, the amount of times we laugh in a day by having cats, that's irreplaceable to me. Things that make me laugh, definitely my cats. The cats here at the shelter. I guess I'm laughing all the time because I'm laughing here at them at work. I laugh at home at our cats. I love to go see live music. That's a big thing for me. And I love the friends that I have met by going to live music. And so we go to many shows. And when I say live music, most of them, they're not concert venues, they're restaurants and local artists. So we go, we have dinner, we laugh, we talk, we have so much fun. I'd say between the cats and my friends that I have is probably what makes me laugh the most. When you're not watching like Big Bang Theory or stuff like that makes me laugh. But my friends and animals, and my husband, my kids, they all make me laugh. We had it wasn't Thanksgiving, it was Easter. My son lives in Akron, our son, and so he came and visited on Easter. Our daughter lives in Minnesota, so she couldn't be there, but she FaceTimed us. So it was just the four of us on a FaceTime call. And literally, by the time the call was over, my cheeks hurt so bad from laughing. It was just like when they were home again. And they make me laugh a lot, my family. I cry at work sometimes when we get in situations where a cat has been intentionally mistreated by a human being. That makes me cry. When you think what the poor cat suffered, and who else in their life is suffering? Children, partners, family. The thought doesn't just stop with, oh, this poor cat. If somebody could do that to this poor cat, what are they doing to other people in their lives? So that makes me cry. Sometimes thoughts of my dad, but not in a boohoo, poor me kind of way, almost a cry as in I just have to get it out. There's so much emotion there. He was such an awesome guy in so many ways, and I'm so much like him that sometimes, that makes me cry. If my kids are suffering, both of my kids have battled anxiety, one more than the other. They get that honestly from their mom. But watching my kids suffer is also something that will make me cry. I would say my life as a whole, if I would, God forbid, go to sleep tonight and not wake up, I think people would say, wow, what a life she lived. Usually you hear that when people are 90, 95, but at 57, I feel like I have gotten to do so much stuff, even if it's simple things. I've had a fantastic life. And I think that hopefully what comes across to people, by my happiness and the children we raised. I'm very grateful for my life. I've learned a lot of lessons. I don't know if I can put them all into words, but even as far back as my grandparents, I have learned positive lessons, and I've also learned lessons of ways I don't want to be. I mean, those are lessons too. So my parents, my grandparents, I have learned the lessons of kindness, how to treat other human beings, even if we don't agree on things. Maybe they aren't people you want to hang out and do a lot of stuff with, but there's still a common decency in how you treat them. Definitely a big lesson for me. And as far as how to treat animals, which I think the two go hand in hand. And I learned that from my parents, that lesson. So I guess I would say kindness and, helping other people. And some lessons, again, of ways not to be, as far as some relationships that I saw in grandparents, and lessons of things to stay away from.
Next Thursday's True Tale is about a good old Ohio boy from the hills of Appalachia who just happens to be an internationally acclaimed and award-winning singer, songwriter, recording artist. Steve Free has had 15 number one songs on the international, Americana, country, and Billboard charts. He's won countless music industry awards and a Grammy nomination. And, well, I could go on and on. But let's let Steve tell you the whole story. We traveled deep into the hills of southern Ohio to meet with him, and you're not going to want to miss this one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the premiere. We'll see you there.